My lovers, thank you so much for tuning into the channel. My name is Made for Love, and today we are looking at what are your person's thoughts of you today. Okay, so we're gonna get, as we usually do, the general energies specific towards you, and then we're gonna look at what they're thinking when they think about you, what they're thinking about. We're gonna look at the emotions that might be driving these thoughts, and then what might be happening in their life that might be driving these thoughts as well. And then we're going to ask what's the most important message that they want you to know right now. In the extended, we're going to basically use the same format for the karmic or third party relationship. So guys, I'm here. This is proof of life. Nothing's popped off yet, but there's been increased military presence in the Caribbean Sea, and in particular my island of Tobago, weirdly enough. I don't know, guys. Anywho's, yesterday I went to the beach with my family and we just had a great time, and I think it would just be a core memory. What's going on here? Memory for me, because we just said, you know what? Whatever. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to enjoy the time that we have with each other, and it was absolutely amazing. The beach was lovely. It was so much breeze, and just thought, oh, what a wonderful world, All right. The energy. Underneath, the sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd. I think this came out in one of our readings last week. And it's basically someone who's found something else to believe in, who's found a different ideology. They're walking a new path, right? It's a deconstruction of the old self and adopting something new, finding something else to believe in that resonates with their soul, that resonates with their intuition, and feels like they have found a new shepherd, but it also feels like there are other people who are viewing them as a shepherd. So they have risen out of the ashes as a leader, right? They might be expounding their different viewpoints out there, and it feels like they are getting followers, people to follow them. Or even if people aren't following them, they certainly do admire and respect and are inspired by your person. And I love that energy. The energy generally. What's that? Good things, all good things. And you see, because they are aligning with purpose now, because their purpose has always been to be a leader. They were the one that was keeping themselves small and shrinking themselves. They've always been meant to be a leader, and perhaps a spiritual leader. We do see the palm here with that third eye just right in the center here. Is that the Hannah Fatima? I think so, right? And the Hannah Fatima is a good luck charm, isn't it? Right? So it feels like they are drawing in all this positive energy because they're exuding positive energy. Whatever you put out there is what you're going to attract to yourself, right? So your person exuding positive energy, so they're going to get their just desserts, and their just desserts is abundance. That's beautiful. Let's look at their energy towards you. So you know what? It feels like in life they're kind of winning right now. And we like that for them. Because someone who feels that they're winning at life as their authentic self will continue to be their authentic self. Will continue to pursue their dreams. Will continue to prosper. What do we have here? We have the magic stream in reverse. So that feels like a dam. Okay, so the one thing that seems like not going quite as planned for them, or they might be blocked off from, might be you. Let's see why. It could be an energy that is passing, that's being transcended. All right. Energy towards you is into the unknown. And this feels like a leap of faith energy. This feels like, walking, definitely walking by faith and not by sight. They don't know what's going to happen, right? And it feels like with that magic waterfall in reverse, it's very scary for a person. They might even be hesitating, but it looks like in the end, they're going to choose to take this leap of faith here. This is where they are being guided. They are being guided towards you. And it's scary as shit. It's scary as shit for a person because your person, it feels like, very tactile. They need this. They need to touch, see, feel. But now Spirit is asking them to just trust. And that's a hard ask for a person to just trust. Trust in what they cannot see, what they cannot feel. Trust in what they don't know. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse, and that could talk about hesitating, holding on to the old. Let's see. Spirit tells about these good things. We have the Three of Wands in reverse. So it feels like a person has been waiting a long time for a turn in the tide, and they may have gone through a period where everything was falling to shit. Okay, and it feels like they may have gotten to the end of the rope and then they just kind of surrendered. So this surrender is what is bringing all these good things inside. That's what's bringing in these good things, you know. Let's see this Into the Unknown card for you. It feels like a leap of faith here. We have Death card in reverse. Two of Pentacles. And the Star card in reverse. It took them losing almost everything, including almost losing you, although they think they might still have lost you. In order for them to change, it looks like for some of you guys, they were juggling you and another situation, and they were being stubborn about change. And that's when they learned a massive karmic lesson that made them dive really deep into the shadows of who they are. And now that they've done that deep dive and they've made so many changes in their life, it feels like the last outpost is you, right? The last thing that needs to be resolved is you. Now, let's look at their thoughts of you today. When they think about you, they think about this connection. Where is their mind at? We have the I don't want to be a player anymore. Knight of Wands in reverse. As a settle down card. We have Six of Cups in reverse. And that can talk about, losing a love. It can talk about your childhood, especially if the childhood was dysfunctional. It can also talk about a karmic soulmate. We have Three of Pentacles in reverse. This could talk about like all material things collapsing, especially at work, or it could be other foundations, other relationships collapsing as well. And then we have the Ace of Cups. So when they think about you, they think about like starting over, starting everything over, starting from scratch, pressing a reset button on their life and just having this massive do-over. And if they had this massive do-over, what they would do differently is that they wouldn't try to juggle you and somebody else. They would give you all the love and attention and affection that you deserve, right? If they were to start over, they wouldn't incorporate any kind of third party into your relationship. They wouldn't prioritize their job to the extent where they were a workaholic and neglecting you. They would just let it flow. They would just let it flow. They would allow their heart to guide them. They would show you how much they loved you instead of trying to be somebody that they were not. That's what they think about. That's what they think about. What if things could be different? What's it going to take to get a second chance? What emotions are bringing up these thoughts? What emotions are driving these thoughts right now? We have kind. I think, when your person looks back, they see how very generous, open, and kind you were to them, and you didn't deserve being treated like how you were treated in the past with this person. They see that now. What are the emotions driving these thoughts? We have self-sabotaging. So they see that's what they that's what they were doing. They were sabotaging themselves. And thinking, your person has just felt unworthy their whole life, and then you come in, they thought you were too good to be true. They thought they couldn't measure up, so they just, sabotage your shit, right? We have awe. I do think that they are inspired by you, and maybe the path they are taking right now is the path that you have shown them. You may have been a way short for this person, right? So they are very much inspired by you. So people are inspired by them. There are some people shepherd, but it feels like that new shepherd that they found was you. What else is driving these thoughts? We have victim mode. Okay, so it feels like, the reason why they may have acted as they did, they may have had something horrible happen to them in the past. Okay, and maybe that's where their trust issues come from. And they just projected all that pain that they never dealt with onto you. We have enthusiastic. So this is someone who definitely is motivated to move towards you. But we also have lazy. So let's put some cards on these and let's see what this is all about. That could be how they were in the past, though. Spirit tells about the self-sabotaging card. Right. We have the Eight of Pentacles. And we have the Hangman in reverse. Okay, so what they see is that, they thought they were enlightened. They thought they were grown. But now that they're actually doing the work, they see now that they were very immature, especially when it came to love and relationships, right? So, chronological age doesn't necessarily line up to emotional age, and it feels like for your person that proved to be true, right? So when they were with you, they were living in the past. And in the past, someone had betrayed them, and they were treating you like if you were that person that betrayed them. And you didn't deserve that. They are in awe of you. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. And we have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. I think you have shown this person so much strength. And you've shown this person strength, for some of you, by cutting this person off. By no longer giving your energy to this person. By showing this person you will not be treated like a third party. You will not be treated less than you deserve. You show this person how strong you were by releasing this person. Four of Pentacles in reverse. And I think they never thought you'd be able to do that. So you've earned this person's respect because you stood up for yourself. Now let's see his victim mode card. Yeah, it looks like they have always been bullied or betrayed by their family members, and they've always had their hackles up. So whatever happened with you, it wasn't anything personal to you. This is just what they do with everybody. Let's see, enthusiastic. What are they enthusiastic about? We have the 9 of Wands in reverse. They're looking forward to having a different kind of relationship with you. One where they're not so defensive. One where they can be open, they can be vulnerable, right? And they can be transparent. It feels like they've never had that in their relationships. Let's see, lazy. They've been, as I said, taking a deep dive. We have the Hermit here and really looking at their behavior, and particularly they were looking at why didn't they make the effort in this relationship in the past? Why were they so reluctant to show you the kind of love and affection that you were showing them, right? And let's see what they came up with. Why? They figured out why they were holding back. Why were they holding back? Because they were scared. They were afraid of you. For some of you, they were afraid of your spiritual energy and your intuition. They knew they couldn't play the usual, they couldn't do the usual shenanigans without getting caught out. And that's why they didn't take this relationship seriously. For some of you, they might be religious and you're spiritual, and they were very intimidated by that. What's happening in their life right now that might be influencing their thoughts of you today? And we have here frivolity. I think they've not just been taking deep dives into themselves, but I think they've been, I don't know, they're showing me National Geographic, right? So does the Explorer. I think they've been really observing, like really closely, the people who are in their inner circle, the people who are around them. And they're realizing that everybody's just so superficial. Everybody's just so banal. There's no one that is willing to take deep dives or have deep conversations with them or are concerned with anything beyond the physical. And when they notice that, they compare that to the kind of conversations that you and them would have just on a normal, casual basis. They compare that to the way you have made their world seem so expansive, and they've also done that for you. They see how much they've grown just from you guys' interaction. These people can't teach them anything. These people can't inspire them to do anything. And I think that's what's going through their mind right now. What's happening in their life? We have haughtiness, right? So they're looking around, they're realizing that everybody that they know are just putting on a show. That rhymes. Everybody that they know is just putting on a show. Everybody that they know is just peacocking. Everybody that they know is just playing a role. Nobody is real. It's all about the ego. Nobody is real. What else are they thinking about? We have constancy. The other thing that they have noticed is that when all the chips are down and things are falling apart, like the pillar is falling here, you have there and you've been constant in their life. Even the times when you should not have been constant, when they may have betrayed you, when they may have done the unforgivable, you have been there. What else? Oh, this card fell. Give me a second, guys. Where the hell is it? What else? We have enemy. And not only are people pretensive in your person's circle, but they're malicious too. Right? It's one thing to be acting a role and being kind of, superficial. But it's another thing they're realizing that these people are malicious too. They have some enemies here. And some enemies right in their family tree. Look, the big tree right there. Some enemies right in their family tree. That's what they're realizing. So what they're realizing really is that they're in a hostile environment. And the only thing that has been nurturing has been you and this connection. The only thing and the only person that they can trust has been you and this connection and this love that you guys have nurtured. What else is happening? We have priest. Now the priest is like the Hierophant. It talks about or programming. It talks about or relationship with established religion. It talks about or relationship with societal programming and its mores and nores. Okay, and it looks like your person is, as I told you before, examining this closely, and it don't look like they like what they see because she's giving this book a side eye. She's giving this holy text a side eye. She's like, I don't agree with that at all. Right? So it feels like it's not just a social deconstruction that's happening with your person, but maybe a societal or religious deconstruction as well. Everything, they're breaking it down to its base parts, and they're only going to incorporate those parts that resonate with their soul and their intuitive understanding of the world. Okay? All right. Now let's ask Spirit, what's the most important message your person wants you to hear right now? So for some of them, what they realize is that, some of them have even been sleeping with the enemy. They've been sleeping with the enemy. Okay. What do we have here? We have despondence. So it feels like some of the things that they've been noticing about the world and their world has really had them in a little bit of a funk. I don't want to say depression, but it could certainly be depression, right? When they look at Mother Earth, look at how she's looking at Mother Earth. When they look at Mother Earth and they look at everything that is happening, and they look at their family, especially maybe the either maternal side or what represents the feminine in their family, I think they're really disheartened with what they're seeing. What's the most important message that they want you to hear right now? Most important message. We have insecurity. All right. So it feels like one of their blocks, and it feels like a long-standing block because I think it began with this, and it's going to be the last stand. Your person, as I told you before, never thought that they could measure up. In fact, they've always been in awe of you. They've always been in awe of you. And I think for some of you guys, your person might have been so toxic as to try to break you down in order for them to feel more comfortable about being with you and being in your presence. And if they did that, make sure that they got professional help before you let them back into your life. That is toxic as fuck. Okay? But this is one of, their inner demons, this insecurity that they have about who they are, their self-worth, and if they are lovable enough to sustain our relationship. This is one of their core wounds. Everything breaks down to how they feel about themselves, specifically how little they feel about themselves. This is what it breaks down to. Everything else flows from that. Everything else, the way that they behave, their trust issues, everything else flows from that. Because at the core of their being, they believe that they cannot be loved. Let's see what Spirit's message for you. So, in the extended, we're going to do the same format for the third party or karmic relationship. And then we're going to look at what's going to be your person's next actions towards you within a month of you watching this reading. We have shame. Maybe we're tapping into one of your inner demons. Let's see what's going on. And we have restriction. So your person has a restriction, which is their insecurities. But you have a restriction too, and it might be that shame that we saw under there. But right now, the only thing that is keeping you back from being who you're meant to be, from being with who you're meant to be with, is your mind. And we see here the joy guides, and it looks like Cupid kind of working on your own thoughts, your own self-limiting beliefs as well. Let's see what this is all about. This is a card number 28, which reduced to 10, and that's an ending. So Spirit is trying to help you end that. Let's see what's going on here. We have restriction, joy guides. It says your joy guides are tapping at your mind's door, hoping to open it and free you from the corner. Any narrow or presumptuous thinking on your part may have unwittingly backed you into. If you fall into the trap of running on too much assumptions or operating on unexamined preconceived notions, you quickly eliminate all your options, leading you to a damned if I do, damned if I don't cycle of frustration. Your joy guides playfully remind you to step back and notice where your stuck perceptions might be attracting more frustration. So Spirit is saying, you don't just have self-limiting thoughts and beliefs. You have limited yourself. You have limited yourself. So there's one thing to have the belief, and there's the other thing to actually limit yourself to do the action. And Spirit said you've done the action. You don't just have the thoughts, you've done the action too. By interpreting situations and information in such a way as to keep you stuck. Let's see what else is going on. They remind you that you're not stuck, but your thinking may be. Stop your mental movie and take a commercial break. It's time for a fresh look and a new viewpoint on all things. The best way to achieve this is to treat yourself to a heavy dose of humor and let it break through your unbearable dilemma. Your joy guides counsel is, as always, the situation may be critical, but it's not serious. Join them in reviewing the situation and laugh your way forward. So Spirit is saying you need a reset. You are so locked in your mind and so locked into negativity and limiting thoughts that you need something that's going to break that cycle, break that monotony. And Spirit is suggesting that you immerse yourself in humor. So If you like Dave Chappelle, Katz Williams, or whoever is your favorite comedian, Spirit is saying, stop your mind. Take some time out. Go watch an episode of that, or two or three. Do a binge if you want. Or go and you hang out with people who you know they're funny, they can make you laugh. For me, that's my family. I mean, nobody can make me laugh like my family. We would just be in hysterics. You know, that kind of laughter where you have to run to the bathroom and pee. That is going to be my family members. So Spirit saying you need some sort of break like that. And then after that break, when you're in that vibration of joy, look at your situation again. And you're going to see what is your out. You're going to see the path forward. But Spirit saying right now, the vibration that you're in, you're only going to see the negativity. Okay? All right, my love. So that was your reading. I hope that was helpful. Can I ask you as an energy exchange to subscribe to the channel? I want to get to 40,000 viewers by the end of next year, and I think that we can do it. All right, my love. Take care.